Mrs. Gable was knee-deep in my backyard garden, her gloved hands yanking my heirloom tomato plants out of the soil with the casual cruelty of a surgeon. She didn't look up when I stepped onto the patio. She just tossed a handful of dirt over her shoulder and said, "These are aggressive. They aren't native to this microclimate, and they're stealing essential nutrients from the soil microbiome. I'm doing you a favor, honestly." Gable wasn't the neighborhood gossip or the noise complaint Karen. She was the eco-sentinel. She had appointed herself the self-proclaimed president of the neighborhood's unofficial Green Council, a group that didn't exist but acted like it had zoning power. She walked the block with a clipboard, tagging trash cans with red stickers if she spotted a single plastic straw in the recycling, and accosting people if their lawn grass was a quarter-inch too long. I didn't yell. I didn't rush over. I walked to the edge of my garden, folded my arms, and watched her work for a second. "You realize that's property destruction, right, Martha?" I asked, my voice dangerously calm. She stood up, brushing off her apron with a sanctimonious huff. "It's ecological preservation. I'm protecting the biodiversity of this street. If you wanted to grow invasive species, you should have moved to a different zip code. I've already sent a letter to the city council petitioning to have your garden declared a biological hazard." She pulled a tablet from her bag, ready to show me the citations she'd been collecting on everyone. She thought she was untouchable because she framed every act of harassment as a moral crusade for the planet. She'd been doing this for months, bullying elderly neighbors into tearing out their rose bushes and badgering families about their water usage while she stood on a pedestal of perceived virtue. I didn't argue about the plants. I walked over to the fence line that separated my property from hers. "You know, Martha, it's funny you're so concerned about biodiversity," I said, pointing toward her own backyard. She turned, her posture stiffening. "My garden is a certified native sanctuary. It is the gold standard for this community." I asked. I pulled out my phone and tapped the screen, pulling up a high-resolution drone photo I'd taken that morning. "Because that native sanctuary of yours is currently infested with Japanese knotweed and English ivy, two of the most aggressive invasive species in the country, and those ornamental shrubs you're so proud of, those are blacklisted nursery imports that choke out local wildlife." Her face went pale, then a furious, splotchy red. That's completely different. Those are controlled." "They aren't," I said, my voice carrying clearly across the yard. "And I have the exact same biological hazard petition you wrote for me. I just swapped the names. I sent it to the city's invasive species task force an hour ago. They're coming by tomorrow to inspect your property." She stared at me, the clipboard slipping from her hand. "You can't do that," she stammered, her voice losing its edge. "I'm the head of the Green Council." "There is no council, Martha. There's just a woman with too much time and a superiority complex." I picked up one of the tomato plants she'd ripped out, shook the dirt off the roots, and tossed it into my compost bin. "My garden is staying. Your sanctuary is getting a government audit. I suggest you go home and start pulling up your ivy before they hit you with the fines." She didn't say another word. She grabbed her bag and scrambled over the fence, her eco-warrior aura completely gone. By the next afternoon, the whole block saw the city trucks parked in front of her house. She didn't just lose her leverage. She became the neighborhood cautionary tale.